Hello, I'm OmnusI, your game master this evening here in my lair. Friends, it is I once more, Rob, here in the Lair of OmnusI, and we are going to continue on the Massive Darkness unboxing video. Finally, last it is here. In my first video, I unboxed the Greater Shroud and pulled out all of the content, and then I showed you the Lightbringer pack, which was basically all of the Kickstarter add-ons for those who backed the project. The things that everybody got, with the exception of two things that I did not do. Of course, there is the main game itself, which is weighty. There's a lot of figures in here and all the bits and pieces. The replacement card pack, because there was a printing error in the first run, and as a result, they had to issue replacement cards so that you could play the game without having to try to figure out what the cards meant. It delayed shipping a little bit, putting that into our packs. Saved them some money on shipping, so I can kind of understand it. In addition, the Chests and Pillars pack was unlocked by Kickstarter. It's nothing I had to pay extra for, which is nice. And then finally, everybody got the enemy box of the Troglodytes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbox those products for your amusement. So again, we're going to employ a little tool craft. It's not ideal, but, you know, you make do. But yes, I think I'm going to have to invest in an official Lair of OmnusI box opener, tape cutter. Using the large bladed instruments isn't always practical, especially for fine work like this little box. So, at any rate, why am I excited for Chests and Pillars? Well, it never hurts to have extra props for your games. Not having to go to my workbench of props that I pull out from my role-playing games and having a 3D thing for the game itself is not bad. I just hope there's enough room in the box to fit all this stuff, because I'm not going to be toting around this little extra pack. Especially since they're so tiny! They're cute. They're actually pretty well done to scale, though, for the characters that are in the game and for general role-playing game purposes. This is taped together, which is slightly irritating. But we have a lot of chests. Apparently you can encounter a lot of chests in the game. They have two different grades, I believe. There's level 1 and level 2 chests. But, yeah, chests are chests. The chest is your fairly standard boxish with a hasp, hinges on the back, wood slat detailing. Nothing too fancy, nothing over the top, but nice. The level 2s are a bit more robust. As I said, extra banding and reinforcement. They're tougher. Again, detailing is adequate. just what you'd expect. And we have the pillars themselves, which are round at the bottom. On top, you could hold up something with them. And 6 of those came with those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 level 1 chests. Looks like 4 level 2 chests. And yeah, more kibble to add to the game. Now I'm going to change perspective, and I will open up the pack so that I don't have to show you cutting myself with a wakizashi or anything. I will be right back. Alright, here we are. Massive Darkness and the Troglodyte box. For sake of clearing it out of the way, we're going to open up the Troglodyte enemy box first. And this is what we see. Of course, we have the cards that you would add into the monster packs, showing the stats and allowing these creatures to become part of the rotation of what you might find going through the game. By doing it in that modular sort of way, you can play exactly the kind of game you want. You're going to keep the same threat level, because again, they scale by what level you're on. You draw encounters that are suitable for that level, and it basically makes the encounter that should be appropriate for your level. Neat, precise, to the point, just the way we like it. Now, again, we have tape. I have, because of my job in retail, developed my retail nails so that I can pluck tape. But this is what we have. First of all, we have the Minotaur, which was one of the finest Minotaur figures I think I've ever seen. Such detailing as a band around his horn, and the horns look great. We have this massive axe that he's holding, which again looks fantastic for the size. It's very good. His armor plate on his shoulder, his hunched, ready to charge posture, the crazy mane he's got going down his back, ring in his nose, that's a nice detail. He's got braids coming down from behind his ear, and his legs are splayed and ready to fight. Like I said, looks like he's ready to charge and mess your party up. As solid as he is, I could believe he is a wandering monster capable of challenging the whole group. He is a dense, large figure who looks like he would just ignore, for example, the werewolf from the Lightbringer box and just come forward and ruin a whole bunch of people's day. The actual troglodytes themselves. Again, with troglodytes, you could probably replace them with hillmen, and you'd be fine. They just look like savage, barbaric humans. Fur capes, large round shield, battle axe, bald. I don't know if that's male pattern baldness or if that's a custom thing. Looks like he's got a bit of a beard going. Kind of crude armor, lots of straps and stuff, but it looks like he's got a breastplate on. So yeah, a tough combatant. I'm guessing he's your rank and file, because there's 6 of them in here. We have what I am fairly certain is the agent. He's got kind of a weird pose. His neck is quirked at an angle. He's got 2 long swords. One is sheathed, one is not. So, you know, he's ready to go out there and start fighting. Looks like he is... It's hard to tell if he's armored or not. Yeah, he's armored because he's got a couple of bosses on his chest. And he's got a torque for closing his... He's got a clasp to hold his cloak on. And he is not wearing furs. He's just wearing a common, looks like, cloak over his back, held together by his belt. So it's almost more of a robe look. Yeah, solid character, though. He's going to cause a lot of problems if he is the agent of the group. Then we have their shaman. The shaman's fun because he's got one of those perpetual burning. He's got fire on the end of his long staff. Otherwise, he looks like a, you know, wizened, twisted, feeble-looking, but probably magically powerful little shaman. Nice detailing again. Clothes look good. Folds in the clothes look good. Figure that I can't wait to paint. And to me, that's a big part of what makes this a success or not, is how badly do I want to paint this and use it. Here is what could be the boss. Long sword in one hand, slightly shorter sword in the other. Wild flowing cape. Looks like he's got leather skirting and a breastplate. And a nice helm with like wings on the side. So, again, I don't see troglodyte in this. I see wild hillman or barbarian, but if they want to call them troglodytes, that's fine by me. You can call them what you like. Then we go to the second tray, which nests into the first. Again, I'm trying to be delicate here. I don't want to completely destroy the whole thing, because I will be, showing my friends who help me pay for these. And then we have the mobs of the troglodytes, which again, we're going hillman here. They have great swords without any kind of crosspiece or quillion. And they are in an aggressive fighting stance. Again, bald, beards, shoulder armor strategically on the arm away from their swinging arm, the side they'll present to the enemy the most. I see some mold lines in this a little bit. Nothing too dramatic, but this is the only one that has actually... No, that's not too bad. That's just... Yeah, it's just the style and design. These guys look like they have more of a guard around their mid-side, but less armor up top. So these are the guys that are expected to die for your boss. And there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 of them in here. Nope, sorry, 12. And they are going to be your rank and file. So all told, 22 figures in here, including the Minotaur and the Agent and Boss. So they look very nice. I do not predict that they will stay in this box. Frankly, leaving them in that state would be tricky. I'm going to have to figure out some other sort of storage solution, because I do not like the plastic trays they come in. And also, they have the cards for them as well. So that's fun. Apparently there are greater and lesser roaming monsters. Not all of them are huge. I just saw that on the back of the Minotaur's card. Greater roaming monster. And yes, he should be a greater roaming monster. He's pretty dang scary. Alright. Now, this is the moment that I have been waiting for a long time. I started getting anxious in April, and they said there were setbacks, and now here I am in early September, and I have the game. Shall we see if this was worth the wait? I think we shall. Alright. Cover comes off. We are shown the Rules and Quests, large book. Solid. Now, I have already read through most of this because the PDF was available, so I've already gandered at that. I kind of know enough to run the game, although I definitely will want to do a couple of small ones with my family. We have cutout cardstock tokens, including a couple of bridge tokens, which will be useful with lava and stuff. A couple of heart tokens to show damage. Door tokens, which we will not be using because I have plenty of 3D doors. And then we have the level numbered discs, which become important because that helps your characters to unlock new abilities, while at the same time it ramps up your enemies' challenges. And there's a couple more, even going up to level 5. Yeah, all told, these are the kind of things. They have pillars for those who didn't get the 3D pillar kits. And a variety of chests. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of chest figures. So if space comes at a premium and I end up having to use that, I'd be okay with that. Alright. Massive Darkness, MD001. These must be the figures. Hello, all of you. Alright, so we're running out of space here, which is sad, but that is kind of how it goes. Alright, so these, again, they very cleverly nested the tray with all of the individual mobs, monsters, and such. And let's look at the Wandering Monsters first. It's the smaller of the trays. This one will throw my wife into heebie-jeebies because she hates spiders. But this is a Shelob I'm going to do horrible things to you and then lay eggs in your carcass spider. And again, I love the way they've packed these things because all my stuff, I have not seen anything broken in transit. The box came in excellent repair, which I was happy to see. Good job on you, FedEx, and good job on you, CMON. But, this spider looks awfully flimsy. I hope it'll hold up during gameplay. But he looks nasty, suitably nasty. I've seen in a game demo that monster in action, and he looks quite deadly. And we have the Troll Shaman. He's got, again, kind of a great club look, and he's got his hand out, but that's to cast a spell. He is actually a spell hurler. And a good look on his face. He's got kind of a cunning look, like he's plotting where that fireball is going to land. He's got some skirting on, a couple of skulls at his side. He's got large furry forearms, which is a nice touch. Yeah, all in all, pretty happy with him. And he looks big and powerful. This is, I believe, the Hellduke. He is another nasty-looking fiend. All horns and spikes everywhere. Kind of like vestigial torn wings on his back. But lots of detailing, lots of peaks and valleys and such. It's going to be a challenge to paint this guy. He has kind of a shriveled pelvis look, which adds on to the bony exterior. He's definitely not an incubus, but he looks like he is poised to hurt your party, which is nice. You want believable menaces. That's part of the whole point of having 3D characters, is you want the players to fear for their characters when they see the monster. Or else, if not to fear them, then to think tactically. This is a Merilith. It's a type of demon. It has a very bent sword, unfortunately. I think that's because of the way it was packed. There really wasn't anything pressing on it, so I'm just thinking it got squished by the boxes on top, maybe turned a little bit. Also, this plastic feels very, very flimsy, and I really kind of loathe to turn it back. She has a pair of kukris, a nice stabby dagger, what would be a long sword in most people's hands, and another one up here. Kind of a wicked-looking dagger scimitar weapon back here, and then a chopping machete-like weapon down here. With all of those weapons, and a little stabby dagger up here. With all of these weapons, she is equipped to throw down and threaten any of your fighter types in the group. And I don't have a figure for this kind of creature, despite the fact that it's one of the older D&D monsters. It was right in Monster Manual 1, if I remember right. But yes, she's a wonderful addition to my collection. She has a shield in front of her, but the bottom is all snaky, and a wonderful figure. I love the detailing. I love the look. Very nice. Again, I think the design harkens back to Shiva the Destroyer from Hindu culture. So that's cool. And we have I believe this is a Hellhound. Kind of more of a lion mane. But it looks nasty. Very nasty. I believe this is kind of a fiery creature. Its tail looks like it's on fire, a la Charizard? Charmander. I'm not a Pokemon guy. But all in all, very menacing monster. Not the kind of thing you want to see when your party's all beat up and you draw that Wandering Monster card. Pretty sure he's going to live up to his looks. So, alright. So that's the first wave of what we see. That was actually tucked underneath everything, so. Alright, let's look at the heroes. We have the large warrior with great axe. Bjorn, I believe is his name. And he's not subtle. We have your War Wizard. You can call him Gandalf if you want to. I don't mind. You shall not pass indeed. Again, very nice detailing. You can definitely make out these characters are. This is not a poorly made product at all. I like how they made most of the weapons fairly thick. They'll resist warping. I believe this is Owen. He's a paladin of fury. Fights with a pair of longer swords. Shield on the back, possibly in case he loses one or fights a tougher opponent. But yeah, the face molding isn't bad. It looks rather good. I'm quite happy so far. Then we've got your rogue character. I don't know if these little points at the bottom of the dagger are there on purpose or not. If they're there to open a wound from somebody she's already stabbed or provide a point to make it easier to parry an incoming weapon, I'm not sure. I'll look it over. If it doesn't represent that in the art, I'll file those off. I employ my X-Acto knives. She's hooded. She has a mask on. I believe her name is Whisper. And she is your shadowy assassin rogue. Then we have our Huntress. Archer. Blood Moon Archer, I believe. She's an elf, clearly. Got all the elven grace and everything. And crazy hair all thrown up. Bow is going to be a little tricky. That looks like that could warp fairly easily, so I'll have to be careful with that. But very graceful, very nice figure. And also not too cheesecake, not everything all peekaboo and everything. She's demure and looks like she'll be a deadly assassin. And then we have the Gladiator Dwarf build. Large pummeling hammer with nice detailing. Buckler shield, a little spike on the end. Top knot flowing down. I love the attention to detail. I think the figure looks better than the art does. The art kind of has him looking like a sloppy type fighter. This just has him looking resolute and tough. Not quite as crazed. Although you could certainly play him that way in a game. He's got a backup dagger on his side and a bunch of pouches on his back, just like everybody. Looks like he's got a couple more daggers in the front. Suitable for being a gladiator, having weapons to throw and fight with. Alright, we look at the other characters. I'm guessing these are the bosses and agents of the various groups. I think this is the Dwarven Agent. Pair of short swords. Again, nice detailing. He's got a cloak, shorter beard, lots of gear and stuff strapped around him. I'm guessing this is a Goblin Shaman. A little more wizened stick staff. I think we've seen him before in the expansion. The add-on stuff. Yeah, as a matter of fact, these guys are the same ones as we have seen with the Lightbringer pack. So they give us more creatures to play with. The Shaman with his femur weapon. This is a Wandering Monster, lesser one. I believe he's an ogre shaman, I think. He looks a bit more intelligent than his fellow, although he's got the big hunched shoulders, the huge, bushy skin, cloak. It's got an impressive looking staff. That actually looks really good. It looks like there's some power in there. Big, powerful shoulders and everything. Yeah, it looks like he'd be a decent hand-to-hand fighter, but again, he's a wizard, so he's probably good at range too. So, very nice. And then we have an orc, maybe a boss. Single sword only, hand clutched in a commanding, confident gesture. He's not just wearing skins, he's got a nice cloak. His chest is showing off. He looks like he's got some sort of ring armor or scale armor, I'm not sure. But, yeah, all in all, pretty tough looking. I'm pretty fond of that pose, too. He looks like he's in command. There's a Weasley Goblin, possibly their boss. got a crude looking sword. I think his goblins have better looking swords, honestly, but his is longer. He's got a raggedy cape. Nice capture of the details. Again, I've not had a problem with the quality of the figure so far. And we have the two-sworded agent again for the goblins, I believe. Bald head, a little ring of hair in the back, dressed in form-fitting, I would guess, armor of leather with a cloak. I think for the agents, I'm mostly going to give them blacker armor to avoid notice. That seems to me to be a good idea for them. So we have clear snap-on rings that go around the bases of the hero characters so that you can differentiate each other. And another advantage to that is we have these colored pegs which you use in your character tray to show hit points and experience. To that measure, we have the trays. Each player gets one of these trays. There is a slot for holding your hero card, which shows a large illustration of your character and the detailing of what you're going to do. A slot for the armor that you wear so that you can see the bonuses whenever you need to look that up. And also you have your weapons, what you have in one hand and what you have in the other hand. If you only have one hand, then your other hand is open, and some characters have abilities for that. If you have a two-handed weapon, for example, you can only have the one two-handed weapon. Tracks down the side track your hit points. When it goes all the way down, you're dead. There's a little skull on the bottom to demonstrate that. And then there are two separate tracks. There is a micro-experience table. As you get experience from killing mobs and monsters and achieving objectives, you get micro-experience, which, once it gets to a certain point, turns into a full point of experience that you can spend to improve your character or fuel abilities. So that was something that they came up with during the campaign. They realized the characters were advancing too quickly. They needed to slow that down if you were going to have a campaign that was going to go over multiple adventures. So that became their option. And it seems like a good one. And it looks like there are 6 of these trays. So I could have 6 players all going at the same time with the full trays. Any more than that, you're kind of out of luck, but it doesn't seem like this game would scale too far beyond. You just start running out of mobs and such. Speaking of whom, we have all of the monsters. And, okay, the good news is I have already reviewed these monsters because what we have is the bulk of the monsters that were in the add-on. We have the orc fighters. We have the maulers, I believe. I can't remember what the monster type is, but the battle axe shield guys. And there's 2, 4, 6 of the maulers, and there's 2, 4, 6 of the orc guys. You have the dwarves with the pole cleavers. We've got 6 more of those. You have the stabbity goblins with a forked sword and the dagger. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of those. They're supposed to die in droves. They'll help inflate your character's experience total, as well as protect their bosses for a bit longer. These hammer dwarves with their kind of hammer axes. They're the mobs for the dwarves, and there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of those. And then archer goblins, which, as I've seen in gameplay, these can be rather nasty if your group's not ready for them. And there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of those. So there's enough critters in here to do some significant damage. Certainly. Under them, we have the tiles. Now, I'm not going to go and open all the card packs and everything, but I will show you what we have. We have 6 notepads with the main classes. The Battle Wizards, the Blood Moon Assassin, the Gladiator. Those, again, I'm going to be laminating several so that I can reuse them with dry erase marker. That's a cheap fix, and it's something that'll make sure that I don't run out. I can also download those sheets from Cool Mini or Not's website, but honestly, with the coloring and the detail, and they made very pretty ones, my black and white laser printer is not going to capture those details well enough that I don't want to use that option if I don't have to. Now, the actual individual tiles are broken up into 9 zones, 3x3 grid. Some of them are dark and allow you to use shadow abilities for each class and certain characters. And others are lit, which means the monsters can then see you if you're standing in a lit location. There is a numbering system so that when you are doing an adventure module, you can just look in the corner and you can follow the recipe for which tiles go in what spot. That's actually a really good idea. I've done a little research on the game. We have the deck O monsters, I believe, but they are also the hero characters. These are full-size cards. The monsters and events are basically random draws that change your experience from session to session, so you're never sure exactly what you're going to find. The gear cards are in smaller packs. Your basic level 1 trash gear that your characters start out with, the players get the pick of that and some leather armor. So everybody starts out with a weapon and armor, and that gives you your ability to fight the enemies. And the rest is all randomly assorted. You find when you defeat bosses or chests, and they scale up. The magic gets more powerful. There are event cards that are drawn every round. You draw an event card to find out what's going to happen next. Kind of an artificial plot device to draw the events and actions forward. And then we have the dice. If you know me, you know I love dice. And the dice that they have are... They had optional dice that were prettier. They had dice for different colors. They had marble colored dice and frost colored dice. But honestly, I find these are easy to see and very well made and visible. There's no misprinting or anything that I can see. From what I understand, the red and yellow are your attack dice. You can only roll a maximum of 3 dice per, so if you're loading up and you get the ability to roll 6 red dice, you can only roll the 3. It caps. And how the system works that's quite clever is every time you roll, you take any defensive dice that the bad guys have and your attack dice, and you roll them all at the same time, so that you can immediately take away the successes from the defenses from what you do in attack to find out the kind of damage and results that you get. Which is nice. You do the opposite when you're being attacked by the monsters themselves. Extra successes are demonstrated with these explosions called BAMs, which can activate certain abilities. And if you get up to the advanced dice, in this case green for defense, and I believe the yellow are the basic. The red one's for attack. One of the facings is going to have a gem symbol, which again, it gives you a lot of successes, 3 successes, and may activate an ability. The red dice have 2 BAMs and 1 gem, but they also have a face that's blank because there's always a chance that a die is not going to get you anything. Shields the same way. One has a gem. The other two sides have BAMs. 2 sides are just a shield or nothing. So there's two faces that have nothing. The yellow and the blue have a single BAM, and the rest of them are 3 successes or I believe 2 fails. Or a fail, sorry. So there's still always a chance that a die is not going to net you anything, but it's always better to roll more dice for yourself. So that's the dice, and again, they look fine. Another game that has fun dice that I look forward to using. As far as the maligned cards that didn't print quite right, we'll open those at our leisure. This is to show you what the... heck with it. I'm going to open it now, because I'm morbidly curious. It may not even have been a printing that affected everybody, but I'm curious how egregious that may have been. Because as of right now, I'm really not see anything. Okay, I see what they mean now. Sure. Some of them, the print on the card is really, really faint. So under normal lighting conditions, and bear in mind this is right under my shop light over my gaming table, so I can see some people might have had a hard time viewing these under regular gaming conditions. So that's why they reprinted several of the cards at their expense and shipped them to us, because they love us. Yeah. But yeah, the hero cards, as I was talking about, show your character and the abilities they have. And they have special skill, a shadow skill, and recommended class that makes them that they're better for. For example, the guy who looks like a wizard would make a very good battle wizard. The lesser monsters are lesser variations of the various monsters. The stats for them when they are greater monsters is obviously much higher. So, yes, that is what the pledge at $120 would get you. When you kickstarted, it would have been the things that I showed in the first unboxing video with the different characters, as well as all of this. So, value-wise, well, there's 70-some characters in this basic set. The Wandering Monsters in the add-on packs were impressive. The Wandering Monsters in this one are quite impressive. I'm quite happy with that. If the quality continues throughout the rest, I think I'll definitely have had my money's worth. And I've got a massive amount to start painting. But I think I'm going to play a game with my friends with the unpainted ones first before I really start going in earnest. And actually, I may even wait until the end of the year after my event at Gamehole Con. If you happen to be going to Gamehole Con, I will be running Massive Darkness for 10 hours. See how much I can get through if I generate any interest. It will be a drop-in, drop-out type affair. But unfortunately, they charge tickets for everything. But by buying a ticket, you can come in whenever you want, go off to eat, what have you. The game will continue throughout the whole, pretty much most of that day. So, looking forward to that. But my next video, I've got the enemy box of Elementals and Ratlings and Reptisaurians. I have the Heroes and Villains packs of the Noble Warriors versus the Cockatrix, the Sorcerers versus Lord Tusk, the Warrior Priests against the Spear Maiden Cyclops, and the Blood Moon Assassins versus the Elephant. So I'm going to put the stuff back, and I will be with you for number 3 of this unboxing video. So, I hope you look forward to it. I look forward to seeing you. I am Rob, or at least Rob's torso, here at the Lair of OmnusI. Thanks for watching.